Should you get fit for golf clubs? Well, I recently got fit for some brand new irons, and I'm going to tell you all about my experience, how much it cost, what it felt like, and at the end, we're going to decide if it's right for you. If you're following my journey from average guy to professional golfer, you know that my irons were in quite a bit of disrepair. I had a bent 6 iron, an extended 4 iron, a short 8 iron, and I was trying to just hodgepodge it all together and make it work. I needed new irons, and I'm going to get those new irons. In fact, I have already received those new irons, as you might be able to see in the bag behind me. I went and saw Doug Montgomery down at Got Golf in Denver, Colorado. I, like most of you, have never been fit for clubs before, not really. And so when I went for a fitting, I didn't know what to expect. I was expecting to hit like 1,000 shots with 100 different clubs and hit every iron on the market and every shaft and every iron. And I was coming off of a 2-day tournament, and I was like, my body is not gonna be able to handle 1,000 shots. I was specifically just doing an iron fitting, so no woods, no drivers, no putters or anything like that. So for an iron fitting, for an hour-long session, it cost me $100. So on to what actually happened in the fitting. Well, I got warmed up, and then I started hitting 7 irons. I brought my own 7 iron to test, and Doug had a bunch of other 7 irons lining the walls and the ceilings and the floor, and it felt like everywhere. So I was hitting at this hitting bay, I was on a TrackMan, and I was getting my numbers, my feedback, but contrary to what I was expecting, Doug was not telling me my numbers. He was just letting me hit and asking me how they felt. He was in control of all the numbers, and then he showed me the numbers after I was done hitting. And so one by one, he would hand me a new shaft or a new club, and then have me hit a few. I kind of went in knowing what irons I was looking for because I had hit some of my friends' ZX7s, but I will say, if I wasn't already a fan of the Srixons or I wasn't looking for those, I would have been a little disappointed because Srixon and Titleist were really the only option that I saw in the shop to hit. If you're going to get a fitting, I would recommend calling fitters beforehand and seeing who they're on staff with because they're probably not going to carry every iron. So if you want Callaway irons, you're going to need to find someone who's on staff with Callaway or at least carries Callaway irons. The numbers were genuinely mind-blowing. I gained 16 yards of carry with the 7 iron. So I was carrying a 7 iron 203 yards. I gained 12 feet of apex height with my 7 iron, and I'm known as a low ball striker, so this was huge for me. I gained 500 to 600 RPM spin rate above my Callaway irons. And so I was thoroughly impressed by all of this. And that's kind of where the fitting ended. We checked my lie angle, it was standard. We checked my extensions, I got a 1/2 inch extension. That was it. And honestly, I walked away from the hour thinking that was a bit underwhelming. It was a bit anticlimactic. I was expecting to hit 1,000 shots with all these different shafts and all these different clubs, and I ended up hitting maybe 40 shots with 4 different shafts, all in the same iron head, which was the ZX7. And so I walked away thinking, I might have missed out on something. But then in talking to Doug, he explained that it's really quite simple. Not every shaft was made for you anyway, and there's no reason to waste our time testing it. When I walk in there and we see my initial numbers, we see my build, we see my golf game, my swing, he already kind of knows what shaft is going to fit me. So he only has a handful of options. So when you walk into a fitter, it looks like there's 1,000 options. But once you start applying the filters of your body type, your game, your swing style, there's really only a handful. If you're new here and you want to follow my journey and you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit subscribe because I'm here weekly with another tour-bound video. So, let's answer the question. Was my $100 well spent? Was it worth it to drive down there, to get a fitting, to spend the money? For me, where my game is at, it's a resounding yes. If your swing is where you want it, if you feel comfortable with your swing, if you're not making any major changes, it's a no-brainer. 100% everyone should get fit. It makes such a difference. When I saw the number difference, we're talking 16 yards of carry with a 7 iron immediately. Who doesn't want that? I will absolutely pay $100 for that. So I think absolutely it's worth it. And the main reason might surprise you. The main reason is not for the head, it's not for the iron, it's not for the grips, it's not for anything else. It's for the shaft and the shaft alone. Basically every company nowadays makes a fine golf club, but it's the shaft that determines what works best for you. Do you need a low launch shaft, a high launch shaft, a low torque, mid torque, high torque? Shaft is where the specialization really is right now. And so for me, having this LZ shaft, because I have more of a tempo loading or a gradual loading swing, I don't have a violent swing. I swing fast, but I don't swing hard. And so this loading zone shaft was money for me. And Doug even said, this is one of those shafts, you either love it or you can't get the ball off the ground. I just happen to love it, and it's not for everyone. So here's my final verdict. Fittings are amazing and absolutely the best, hands down, the best thing you can do for your golf game if you're at a place where your game and your swing is consistent enough to benefit from it. If your game is just starting out, if your swing is coming together slowly but surely, it's probably not for you just yet. Find a good fitter, build a relationship, but find a swing coach first. Get your swing ironed out, and then once you feel comfortable, confident, and consistent, at that point, a fitting is going to take you to the next level. And fitters are probably not going to tell you that. But as an honest opinion of someone who's not a fitter, who's just some random guy on YouTube, it's not for everyone. And if it's for you, it's the best thing you can do for your golf game. So I'll let you guys decide if you want to get a fitting, if you don't want to get a fitting. But if you're at that place where you want to take your game to the next level and you're already consistent, what are you waiting on? Genuinely, go find the best fitter near you and sign up immediately, tomorrow if you can. It will change your game overnight. All right, thanks for sticking around. I hope that I could answer your question. Like I said, if you're interested in seeing my journey to professional golf, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come back next week because I will be unboxing these bad boys, these Srixon ZX7s, shining here in the background. Oh my goodness, talk about a buttery smoothed iron. I can't wait for you guys to see these things. I was so stoked when they came in the other day. They're already in the bag, but next week you are gonna see the unboxing in all of its glory. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Tourbound.